Stop scrolling, stop scrolling, stop scrolling.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's the coolest dude in the wheelchair, rule of life NASA, and today I got my host.
Mike Kell 57, always opinionated, never intimidated.
Oh, today we're starting the good. First of all, are we live?
Yes, we
Yep.
are.
Okay. Because I can't see it. I can't see it. But today we got a special guest today. He's got his own podcast or his own little series called Flip the Script. We talked back in the day about him doing a podcast called The Safe Place. He's very passionate about politics, school shooting, mental health. Today we got JC Strickler. What's up, bro?
What's up, y'all? Good to be back with
How's
my
it?
boys, man.
Yeah, how's everything for you, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Since I was on with y'all, I moved into a different housing situation. I'm living in a two and two that I'll be sharing with a college student starting next week. But the rent's lower. It's closer to transit for me, so I don't have to worry about crossing 4 lanes of traffic just to catch a damn bus.
Oh
I
man,
feel
that's
you.
good, man. That's good.
Yeah, look, as
Happy
long
for
as
you, man.
at least you got somewhere to live, man. That's all that
Yeah,
matters.
man. And easier transportation, so that's good.
Yeah,
So,
it's literally right out the front door, so that's a real help.
Right.
so, so today I wanted to call. So I was on your show last a couple months ago, like 10 months ago. I was on Flip the Script, and I told you that you should do a podcast about
Yeah.
politics, school bullying, and all that. I told you should call it a safe place. So today I came up with the name for the episode, Safe Place Only in America, because we're about to talk really quick, not too long, about bullying and gun violence and all that. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, now you told me growing up you used to get bullied a little bit.
I got bullied a lot, actually. Yeah, for
Well,
different
tell
reasons.
tell. Remember, this is a safe place, so go ahead and tell the
Well,
people about it.
um, I was into things that weren't considered status quo, and I'm not
Right.
talking like some of the stuff that the millennials these days are getting into, but I was into like performing arts and Star Trek and things like that. And I wasn't really I wasn't one of the, I wasn't a brain, I wasn't a jock, you know.
Right.
I wasn't a jock till eighth grade. I did cross country for 1 year, and I did
Wait, you
my
did cross
junior year. I
country?
did my junior year. I did basketball, volleyball, but other than that, I pretty much avoided sports like the plague.
So you did cross country? You played basketball, you did sports and all that?
I didn't in grade school. I did one season of cross country in junior high, and then when I was in going into my junior year, or excuse me, my sophomore year, high school, the private school that I went to, we had a co-ed because there was only 5 students, three boys, 2 girls. We had a co-ed basketball slash volleyball team that we would compete with other private schools.
So,
After that, I pretty much avoided sports scholastically.
so because you said you wasn't really into sports and you played for a year, looking back, do you think you were just doing it to like fit in, maybe, or and gain some
I think,
friends?
yeah, yeah, it was more for the social aspect more than the fitness aspect, which of course has come back to bite me in the butt later in life. But
Okay.
we all have our we all have our things that we're into and things that we're not when at different stages. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of hard to believe because I'm not gonna lie. You love to talk. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to believe that you had a social problem, or you know what I mean, social anxiety or that such.
I wouldn't go as far as social anxiety, Rude. I mean, was a bit I was a little more introverted than most. When I was like, and I'll give you a perfect example. Um, my freshman year of high school, and we've talked about this because you and I did a thing on school bullying for my show here a
Mm-hmm.
couple months ago. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about this. My freshman year, I was junior high was no picnic. Uh, Pardon the pun, because during lunch there was a hill behind our school that led to the soccer field, and I would be either there was a soccer field on that was the same level as like our shop for like home ec and shit.
Uh-huh.
Uh, so I would either be taken there and had the tar kicked out of me, or I'd end up almost going down. And I actually did go down that hill a couple times into the soccer field, into the fence. Um, in seventh grade. So when eighth grade came around, that's when I decided to, you know, if for no other reason than self preservation, go along with the get along. That's when I got it. That's when I decided to do cross country.
Hey,
But
dog.
like I
So
said, that
I'm
only lasted
laughing.
for one season. So
So I'm laughing, right? Because y'all had soccer. Y'all had a soccer field. When I went to school, we had like I don't know if y'all remember this sport called tetherball. Like the ball
oh
used to be on a
yeah,
string and you used to hit that
Mhm.
joint. I used to be
yep.
terrible at that joint. I ain't gonna lie. I got hit in the face a couple times.
I still suck at it.
Yeah.
So like,
I,
so
I still suck at it as an adult. So don't worry about that.
so like, here's the play. Okay, here's the weird thing because like usually when a person plays in sports, right? They
Right.
like they get they get popularity from it. Am I wrong? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't get too much of it myself. I don't know about y'all, but I didn't have the popularity factor. That didn't come into the picture. Once the year and a half I was in private school. It was part of the thing, but it's part it became more part of my social life, but then not again till uh, well into community college when I started doing like theater arts and drama classes and whatnot.
So when you start doing things that you really love, like theater and art classes, did you
Mhm.
gain more friends then? Did you feel more accepted?
That was the big draw for me, Michael. Honestly, you know, besides the love of playing different characters, performing for people, uh, the different like most of my acting career has been community theater, with the exception of my time with Donnie and Marie Osmond. We talked about that.
Yeah.
Um, but most of it's been community theater. And actually, quick little story. Uh, I'm coming up the end of this month on the 19th anniversary of the passing of my father. And at the time, I was in the middle of rehearsal for a production of Frankenstein.
Mm.
But I was also working on a production of A Christmas Carol with some of the same members from the Frankenstein cast. So we were working on two plays at once because they had to be, there was only going to be a 3 week hiatus between the two.
Mm.
Because we closed Frankenstein 2 days before Halloween, and we started performing Christmas Carol the week before Thanksgiving.
Mm.
So when this one night after rehearsal, I went karaoke with my castmates, and I got home. I was home about an hour, and my mom comes out of the bedroom. She goes, "Where's the number for the chapel?" I'm like, "Why?" She goes, "Your dad just passed away."
Mm.
Now we're talking 2, 3 in the morning by this point. I didn't think twice. I started calling. I called my director right away. My director and my assistant director were engaged at the time. I called them and I'm like, "Hey, can you guys come over first thing in the morning? Dad just passed." So what they did, the whole cast, the rest of rehearsals for both shows, rallied around my mom and me.
Well, that's
And what they did, my director, a lady named Letha Lewis and Gonzalez, she's now Lewis and Gonzalez boss because she got married. She we dedicated the run of Frankenstein to the memory of my dad in the program.
amazing, amazing.
Hey, that's fire.
So that was a to have that. My dad had lung and we later learned bone cancer. And he went from doing everything for everybody to nothing for nobody in a matter of weeks in like his 60s. And so, he was, our family had always supported the two local community theaters. We let them we had a motel. We had let them put their posters up. I worked on a bunch of shows behind the scenes, doing promotion and whatnot. So when we started working on Frankenstein is when he started to deteriorate. And when he passed, I don't think between that next morning and when we opened Frankenstein, I don't think maybe 2 or 3 days went by without one member of the cast or another coming by the house. Whether we were rehearsing or not, they'd come by and check on us, or just call, or they'd call, or they'd video call. Video calling was in its infancy.
That's great support.
So yeah, that's been great. And then 5 years ago, June, when I lost my mom, a lot of them I hadn't heard from a lot of them since I moved east, with a few exceptions.
Yeah.
And I went home. She passed away the end of June. I went home the day after Independence. I was home for almost 8 weeks. And as soon as I got to town, as soon as people knew where to find me, they were showing up that I hadn't seen, that I had worked with in theater, whether it was a college or community theater. Now, some of them showed up to my mom's service the night I got into town. So that was it was a good reconnect. It was good to know you have that support. That's a big thing. But getting back to what you were asking though, a lot of it was for the social aspect, and the fact that I've been able to make so many friends doing what I do. I do it for fun, but I also do it for the camaraderie of it, obviously.
Word. So what can you say? What do you say to a person that might be getting bullied but don't have the platform or don't have the voice to voice that he's going through these things? How do you recommend somebody?
First off, the one thing you got to keep in mind is that what they're doing is not based on anything you're doing. It's their own insecurities. It's their own dramas. Don't own it, and don't let it own you, because that can bite you quicker than anything. 2, find a safe outlet for your emotions, whether that's writing, whether that's journaling. For some people that works. Painting, drawing. Find an outlet like that. If you know anybody in the, I guess the term would be clergy. See who you can talk to there. Talk to your pastor. Talk to your if there's a youth group leader, talk to them. Try to talk to teachers, counselors at school. If there's a parent that doesn't come into everything with a bias, that's open-hearted, and there's no judgment. Confide in them. But the worst thing you can do is keep it to yourself, because that will eat at you over time, and it can negatively impact how you react to those who are support who actually are supportive of you and like you. That it could cause unintentional conflicts just because you the more you unfortunately the more we get treated like we're less than or different, the more we start to question anything people say about us, whether that's positive or negative. And
Yeah.
if you let the negative own you, you're not going to be able to accept the positive. You're gonna and the smallest thing will set you off and cause conflict you don't need. That was never intended in the first place.
True.
So just
All right. So now,
be true to yourself above all else.
yeah, stay true to yourself. That's
But
ex- that's
advice.
that's excellent advice. So now I want to switch the topic and go to something more, I think, needed because um earlier this week I live in Virginia, so earlier this week it was a shooting at Virginia State University, right? And I don't know if you guys noticed, but America is like number one as far as like gun violence,
I
right?
know it.
And and it seems like when the kids go back to school, not wishing this on anybody, when the kids go back to
Hmm.
school, that's what a lot of the school, that's what a lot of the gun violence happens. It's like right in the
Yeah.
beginning of the school year. Um, I want to start with you, Michael. Michael, like, do you think that we're too lenient with the gun laws? Like, do you think that we should have like some kind of background checks, like really mental background checks? Because I feel like we don't have that good of a background check as far as gun laws. Because it just seems like anybody can get a gun.
Yeah, like all the developed countries, they have more uh, strict laws on mental health. If you have a gun, or more thorough background checks, and you don't
Hmm.
have the same amount of access to guns. So they don't have like school shootings or like mass unalivings because they don't even have that weaponry. If you're you're not just walking around with an AK, or you got 10 guns in your home. Some countries the police don't even have guns. So I think we do need to change that in America, but it's a lot of lobbyists, and Americans love their guns, man. They really do. And the NRA has a strong hold on the politicians. So until that changes, I don't think the laws will change. We really depend on prison labor for a lot of labor, and they're in bed with a lot of corporations that benefit from pretty much slave labor too. So you need
Hmm.
somebody to go to prison for that discounted labor. What they paying them a dollar 50 an hour to do all these different jobs, firemen, construction workers. So you need people in prison, and guns and drugs is a good way to do it. You
I'm
know.
a, so I'm glad you said this, and I might ruffle a few feathers. Um, I was watching this documentary, right? And because
Hmm.
you said something about prisons is like 150 an hour, right? This police officer who worked at a prison actually said that prison is like a form of slavery because you work for a low budget as far as
A
money,
low
and
wage.
Low
and
wage.
they
Yeah.
and they and they, he actually said we need certain people to come work the field, do the work out there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why I try to stay out of prison, out of jail, because especially prison, because that is a form of slavery, bro. Like we can try to walk around it all we want to, but the truth is the truth. So JC, let me ask you this:
Shoot.
do you feel like Michael said, even though we might need some, even though we might need some better
Hmm.
background checks, people love their guns, which is true because before Charlie Kirk died, okay, Charlie Kirk had this. He was at a college, and this lady said, "Do you believe that the laws are too lenient as far as guns, and what do you think about the gun laws?" Right? And Charlie Kirk said, "Unfortunately, to protect our amendment right, certain people are going to have to go." You know what I mean? And and that was kind of disheartening to me. But it's people who actually believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Unfortunately.
when you hear somebody like, this question's for you, JC. When you
Yes.
hear somebody like say like, "Yo, to protect our Second Amendment rights, certain people are going to have to be unalive," because I can't say.
That is so butt backwards to me, Rude, honestly. That all that is an excuse to do something stupid or to think something stupid. And this and I'm of two brains on this. One is, that, like I said, that's basically just an excuse to either say or do something stupid. Basically, using what rights we do have. Free speech, for freedom of, and of course the guns are free to, free to bear arms. But saying, oh, this thing's going to happen, that is so butt backwards. The thing we gotta start doing. You were on the right track. We do have background checks, but they're not enforced. They're
Yeah.
not as enhanced as they should be, especially when it pertains to the backgrounds, to the criminal backgrounds.
Because I can go get
Granted,
I can go get
the
50 years
mental
sitting for
health,
nothing.
the mental health, if they have mental issues, that for a lot of people would be considered a red flag too. Whether that's fair or not, that's up to the individual to figure out for themselves.
Hold on,
But
JC. Hold on, JC.
yeah,
Because here's the thing. Um, when you see about all these school shootings and all these
hmm
mass shootings,
yep,
they don't really like so the FBI and the police, they hear about it, but they don't really do something until they
no, they
see the
don't.
mass shooting or the school shooting. Like they don't really say mental health until the shooter unalives himself. He does a mass
hmm
shooting. So it like they know, they see it. They see it, bro. They, you know what I'm saying? Like they see it.
hmm
But it's always, oh well, we just got to put this on the back burner for right now because we got other things to worry about.
Yeah. I think it's just more of a America don't want to give up their guns no matter what, and they're willing to sacrifice lives for it. They love their guns. So
I
every,
agree with you, Mike, to a point, but again, I go back to the checks that need to go on. The you know we've been dealing with this, for lack of a better term, pandemic of school violence, school shootings. Rude, you and I did an episode on this. Um, we've been dealing with this for decades. It's nothing new. But what drives me nuts is the fact that the easy accessibility, the prerequisites for having them are too lenient.
yes,
They're too loose based. I mean, and you talked about the shooting in the area. One of my other podcast friends from the uh, Successful Toys game night, her kid was in a school a couple days ago when was a shooter in the school in a high school, like 14, 15 years old. And I'm like, and I literally put this on Facebook. I says, when I heard of the first one of the new quote unquote school year, because the different states start at different times.
yeah,
I literally put as the caption, here we go again. Can we have one school year where this doesn't happen? Because I mean, we went over the when you were on my show. We did the show on school violence here a couple months ago, and we talked about the figures from the last few years. They're mind blowing. I mean, the average in a school year that we were looking at was like 100 and something a year, 100,
Mm,
200 a year. And yeah, it's gone down somewhat year to year, but the fact that it even happens at all is just sickening. It
Let me
it,
be the
it, it, hurt, it hurts your soul to know that kind of backwards
let me
mentality is out there, and that they have such easy access to not only guns but knives too.
yeah.
I mean,
let me be the first
talk
to say
about
this,
ghost
right?
guns, for example.
Let me
Another
be the
one.
first
You
to
can
say
create a
this.
gun on your computer and take it to school. What the hell?
Yeah. And you can those gun shows. It's so easy to get guns at the gun shows, and you can
They
buy
make it too easy.
gun parts and put a gun together. So it's a lot of ways around the checks and balances of getting a gun.
But
That's
let me
and
say
and,
this.
and that's and that's and that's the sickening part of it, Michael, is the fact that it's so easy, even without going through the official channels. Again, ghost guns, taking parts from other projects you're doing and creating your own gun.
Hmm.
What the hell? You know?
But, but let me also say this though. Like, don't get it twisted. Even though I do feel like the violence is out of control and
Mhm.
we need to have we need to have mental checks. I am pro protect yourself. I do
Oh,
believe in protecting
absolutely.
myself.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
I think we all are, and that's the thing where people try to
that's that gray
ar-
line.
argue against it.
Hmm.
We're all pro safety, pro protection. It's just make sure it's more checks and balances. Make sure the person is adequate to have a gun mentally, know how to use it well, and it's checks and balances going on.
And
Make
know
sure
when to use it.
yeah, the way we use it, make sure the guns are registered, you know, all those things are vital.
One of the things that kind of irks me, and you just hit on this about the protection, is how easily some of these instances, and I'm not talking about school ones specifically, but let's look at domestic too for a second here, or just uh, social shootings, just basic robberies and whatnot. People always jump to this. Oh, I did it in self defense. Oh yeah, prove it, but then they can't.
Right, right.
And so many of them, and this drives me nuts, is because I see it on that court cam show all the time. There, or the neighborhood wars or road wars, you name it. Um, where they go off, they do this, they shoot somebody, or they pull a gun on somebody. Oh, it's self defense. Prove it. They can't, and they end up skating.
Yeah.
Like that Bob the what Sean the Builders when he felt like he was the things he was doing was some self defense and now he in jail for like forever now. Alright, so let me ask y'all this. Alright, for you, first of all, Michael, what how are we doing on time? Because I can't see.
It is
Coming up on a half hour.
yeah, it's 28 minutes, 54
Alright,
seconds.
we only gonna be on here a few more minutes, but I got a good question for you. I got a good question for both of y'all.
All right.
Knowing that everything that people go through,
Mm-hmm.
from depression, from the gun violence, to, you know what I mean, from being bullied. And I
Mm-hmm.
want both of you guys to answer. Okay, if you guys was the president, how would you and so y'all are running for president. Y'all on a campaign right now, right? And so I'm go to you. I'm gonna go to you first, JC, and
All
then
right.
Michael, you finish this off. JC, how would you fix how would you fix gun violence and bullying in America if you was the president?
As far as the gun violence, again, re reinvent, reprogram the what we got to do for background checks. Make sure every aspect is verified. Their ability, their mindset, if they don't have the background. If it's just for recreation in or self protection, so be it. But make sure they got we have to reevaluate the system of checks and balances in or and the background check system first off. And as far as the school, as far as the bullying, that there's got to be a lot more. I hate to say old school, but that's kind of where we're headed. I won't say I wouldn't say anything like corporal punishment, paddles and whatnot. But there's got to be a stricter way of dealing with those that do it. Don't just let them slide. Don't let them think it's no big deal. Oh, you did this because of this. Okay, whatever. Yeah, that dog don't hunt, so to speak. We need a lot stricter ways of dealing with this bullying nonsense. People, we keep talking. People keep preaching the golden rule, but we don't live by it, and we don't make our kids live by it as much as we should.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. So so I'm gonna call you President Michael 57. Okay. President Michael. Okay. Um I say okay, so I'm gonna talk to you like this. Michael 57, I see you wanna run for president, and I have a I have a I have a disabled child, and he's he deals with depression, he has mental issues, and sometimes he might get bullied. But I feel like the school system is not equipped to handle my disabled child that gets bullied and goes to depression. If you become president, how can you help change the situation for my not only my child, but children who might be going through the same thing as him?
I think on the federal and make sure it's trickle down the state, the policies on bullying need to be stronger and more serious. There's so many times that people get bullied and they say, "Oh, tell somebody," but you tell a principal, teacher, and nothing happens, and it lingers on for a while before something really happens. So I think it should be a zero tolerance for physical bullying for sure. And because this generation is different, we got to think about social media bullying too. We didn't have to deal with that growing up, but they're bullying kids on social media. And you can say, oh, well, they can just get off the app, but everybody has the right to enjoy the app if it's safe and your kids are being safe on the app. Make sure that you monitor what your kids um search on the internet and who they're talking to, even when they're on roadblocks and all these games. And it's a lot of bullying
I
on
just
the
played
video.
that game, by the way.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot of bullying on the video games. You wouldn't believe some of the stuff people say while they're online playing. So and sometimes it's kids on kids, sometimes it's adults on kids. It's things on Robux that your kids shouldn't be doing. It's a lot of adults on there lingering. Snapchat, the messages disappear. So they say that's so like PDF files take advantage of things like Snapchat because the message disappeared. So watch what your kids is doing online. It's bullies on there. It's predators on there. So just be very careful with that. And I will have stricter policies for minors on social media and bullying in school and physical bullying is zero tolerance, get kicked out of school. Other kind of bullying like taunting sometimes is their word against yours. But if I see a pattern, then you're out to school. People just have to know um you mean what you say. So if you do something against the policy or against the law, then it will be consequences. And you're not going to get a pass. You're not going to get a slap on the wrist. Because once you allow passes and little slaps on the wrist, people will continue to do it because they don't really take you serious. So we just have to show society that we're serious about bullying, and gun violence and stand on it like other countries have done. We have so many examples.
Another
Well,
thing,
y'all got my vote.
really quick, Ruth. Uh, there was a time y'all heard of that whole Beyond Scared Straight stuff they
Yeah,
used
I
to
Yeah, it
do.
was a
remember that.
show. That was my
It
show.
needs to come back. It needs to come back to these kids to start acting out like this. They need to experience that and give that as kind of a wake up call. This is how you want to act. This is where you're going.
But see, the thing about the Beyond Scared Straight is like the people that they were taking in for the program, but they start realizing that they can't like the inmates can't really do nothing. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna just go here real quick. But because I know, because when you watch like the before after, like the after,
Hmm.
a lot of them still out there gang banging and stuff. Like I ain't going.
I
Well,
mean,
that's
but
true.
yeah, that's true. You can always try. You're not gonna save everybody. So
No.
no matter what you do, it's gonna save some, and some it's not. So you can just try to save as many people as you can. I think after school programs are important.
Hmm.
That give the kids something to do so they not around here bullying and getting in trouble if you got things to do. Um, I think they need to bring back trades in the school. They used to have trades in high school.
Yeah.
So that kept them busy, and when they got out of school, they was able to get a decent job, even if they didn't go to college, because college isn't for everyone. It's for some, and for some, it's not. So I think that's important too, because as you get older, if you don't
You
have,
need something to fall back on.
yeah, that bullying as you get older, that bullying turns into committing crime, possibly.
Hmm.
So
Right.
you just got to keep these kids active, keep them busy, so they won't have an idle mind. Give them something to do.
Right on.
All right. So like we about to get up out of here. But look, so JC, before I let you go, I'm gonna
Yeah.
ask you this question. All right, being what you went through back in the day
Hmm.
when you were younger, and I see that you became a better person now. What is your
Appreciate
advice?
it.
What is your advice for those who might just sit up here and one day be like, "Oh snap! It's the Handicap Show podcast," and we got Michael 57, we got Rule Like Nasser, and some dude named JC talking about bullying, and I'm going through that, and they're talking some positive stuff. What do you what can you say to that one person that might just be watching this podcast and need some advice or might be going through something and they don't know how to handle it. Like
First,
what's
first
some good
off,
advice you can tell me?
first off, like I said, what people are doing to you that is negative is not your fault. Do not own it. Put yourself first. Two, find an outlet to deal with the emotions. Writing, art, you know, sports, whatever. Three, find a group of kids your age that you do see eye to eye with, that you know support you. Talk to them. Talk to your pastor. Talk to a school counselor. Talk to your parents, talk to extended family if you have to. Just because they're not local doesn't mean they don't give a damn. You know, find somebody you can use as a sounding board that you can vent to without it being flip back at you. Do not hold the emotions in. Do not hold the pain in. But again, do not own it within your head, within your heart. That will come back to bite you worse than anything. Be true to yourself, know your self worth. Do not let what other people say that's hurtful chip at that. Know that is as solid as you make it and as you keep it. Those who say otherwise, to hell with them. Honestly, put yourself first. Find your outlets. Find people you can talk to. Find people that you can have around you when at times you think something may happen or somebody might follow through on something they say. Don't be alone unless you have to, and even then be cautious. But put yourself first. Put your own self-worth first.
Right. Before I let everybody say their socials, I just want to say that not only children get bullied,
Mm.
adults get bullied too. That's called abuse. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the reason why I wanted to do this podcast or this episode is because I wanted to bring light to the bullying and to the gun violence, so we can have a safe place to talk about it. Even if one person, two people, three people watch this podcast, it starts somewhere. And like JC and like everybody else has been saying, um, if you feel as if you've been bullied or you if some things going on at the school, just reach out to talk to someone. Don't be scared, because all it takes is one voice to start the communication, and everything goes on from there. As far as the comments, because I know that this episode might trigger a few people, it might get people going, and that's what we're here for, to get the
Get the
interactions going.
conversation going.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
get the conversation going. Unfortunately, I'm not going for no negative comments, so just be careful what you say. As far as this topic, you know what I mean. Any negative past, anything crazy, it will be blocked. Because even though this is a platform where we're talking about a serious situation, uh, handle yourself with respect. So
Exactly.
before we get up out of here, y'all go ahead and give out your socials, and then we out.
Go ahead, JC.
All right, y'all. So hey, the name's JC Strickland, host of Jamming with JC. This is my Facebook page. That's me with Donnie and Marie. My
I ain't gonna lie,
Instagram
can't
is
nobody see
P.
that, JC. I don't even know how you did that, bro.
What's that? I don't know how you
Just
do
say,
it. There we
just say,
go.
your- just say your Facebook name.
Mix it a
Nobody can
little
see that, bro.
bit.
Yeah. So Instagram is PTLD Act 2013. You can check my playlist out for flipping the script. My and Root have been on that. You can check out the playlist for Channel with JC. My and Root helped me launch that. There'll be a new
What did I
solo
do?
episode going up this weekend, and then going to be talking about uh, my experiences being gay in today's world, growing up, and my experiences growing up, and be uploading that this weekend. But if you all know any podcasters that want to do an interview to promote their stuff, have them hit me up. I'm in the Need a Guest group on Facebook too. So
Definitely, definitely.
Cool. Michael, go ahead and drop your knowledge again.
Oh man, I just want to say this great show is very important. We got to spread knowledge and just we're here to help at Handicap and Chill. And like JC said, if you're in a predicament where you're getting bullied or you're battling depression or anything like that, make sure you find somebody you can talk to, and don't stop until you find someone that you can trust. You only need one person. So just don't give up and keep fighting. Um, just keep fighting. We need you in this world. My follow me on TikTok. I am Michael57. That's
You going
TikTok.
live too now, right?
Yep, I'll be going live on TikTok, so be on the lookout for that. Instagram, Michael57 underscore. Facebook is Michael Watson. I got a black shirt on with my crutches. And you can also check me out on Michael57.com. Um, Thank y'all for listening and watching. We appreciate every view, every like, every share.
Yeah, like it's rule like NASA. You can catch me on Handicap and Chill podcast every Thursday, or we might have an extra day or two. I'm not sure, but if you're not there, you can catch me on Instagram at Rule Life Period NASA, Threads Rule Life Period NASA, Facebook Rule Life NASA, Facebook like page Handicap and Chill podcast, and we're on Instagram Handicap and Chill podcast. Like everybody said, we did this show just to bring knowledge and to bring awareness to the situation. And just if you need help, if you need someone to talk to, don't be afraid to talk to anybody. You know what I mean? All it takes is one voice, like Michael 57's been saying, like JC's been saying. Uh, we'll be back next week. Until then, I'll holler.
Peace.
Peace.